In this section, we're going to build a simple UFO and bring it into the isometric scene. There's quite a lot to cover here. This could have easily turned into its own 5+ hour course, but it is a fun project to try. My 9-year-old daughter, Eva, saw me working on this section actually and wanted to have a go at designing her own UFO in Blender's Grease Pencil completely on her own. And this is it. And I love it, and I just had to show it, and she's still experimenting with it, and I can't wait to see what she manages to conjure up. Hopefully there's others watching this who decide to give it a try too. If you do, share what you come up with us on the socials. We'd love to see it. So the thing about art, and this is especially true of art in Blender, is that there's many ways to do the same kind of thing. Not only in style, but in workflow, the tools we choose to use, and the sequence we do everything in. Before we get drawing though, there are a few basics we need to know, like how to even get started, like how to actually start drawing, how to set up. The fastest way to get started is to just jump into a whole new workspace, actually even deeper than just a simple extra workspace, since all the various workspaces that we have up here are tailored to a general Blender workflow. As we can see here, new general would create this version of Blender. Then we've got the 2D animation option. When we click on this, we get transported immediately and ready to draw. In fact, I can left click and drag and start drawing immediately on this new stroke that's just been created for us. And I can set the strength up, turn the pressure sensitivity off, because I'm just going to work with a mouse in this tutorial. But notice we actually have 4 specific workspaces for our Grease Pencil workflow. All these changes run pretty deep actually, because we already have the keyframe set up for us. We can jump over and check out our color management and see that it's set to standard instead of the usual default filmic. We can see the position of the camera has been changed from where it normally would be. I'm just going to click this little camera icon to jump back in though. We can middle scroll our mouse wheel to see the boundaries of that camera, what's going to be rendered from our camera from this position. On the layers tab, we have a couple of layers all ready to go, lines and fills. On our materials tab, you can see we've got a bunch of materials there ready to go also. So this is definitely the way to get started quickly. Within seconds, we're able to draw. Now, just before we go through the learning exercise of resetting all of this up manually so that if you wanted to, you can do it without any help and also be much more confident with Grease Pencil, I just wanted to show for anyone who wants to just get stuck in and experiment right away, you can undo strokes with Control Z. And as I did earlier, because I'm on a mouse, I can just left click and hold it down while moving the mouse to draw in a stroke. There are some other basic brushes that we can get to here, and each of those have their own characteristics and we can create our own. If we want to erase what we've done, we can switch to the erase tool, and notice we have different types of erase brushes here too. My favorite's probably the erase points tool. It's very clean. But we can also get to whatever eraser we happen to be set to from the draw mode by holding Control while we're trying to draw. But there's a lot more going on here, and so as a learning exercise, to really take a decent dive into it, let's set all of this up manually. So to start, let's get rid of all this by going File, New, and General. And we don't need to save any of that. Press A to select everything, and then X to delete. So we're really going to be starting from scratch here. Aside from, I guess, we've got this starting collection. So I'm just going to select that to make sure everything gets added within that collection.